I think Bitcoin is at one of the most important decision points of the year. There's a strong case that the bottom is already in, but there's also a compelling case that we're about to make one more lower low. Today, I'm going to show you both sides of the argument, the evidence supporting each, and what I'll actually be doing with my own positions. On July 1st, 2026, Bitcoin swept the previous low of around 58,000 and printed a low of 57,717. Now, the question isn't whether Bitcoin bounced. The question is, was that the final bottom or just another stop before the next leg down? Let's look at the evidence. I'm going to start with the bullish case. The first thing that stands out is the daily RSI. We now have a bullish divergence on the daily RSI. A divergence occurs when the price makes a lower low, but the indicator makes a higher high. But what's even more interesting is the weekly RSI. The weekly RSI also made a bullish divergence, where price made a lower low from all the way back from February, and the indicator made a higher low. The last time we saw a setup this similar was during the November 2022 bottom, just before Bitcoin began its recovery. Next, look at the volume. Every sweep below the previous low came with strong selling volume, but notice something. The volume is getting smaller. That's often a sign of seller exhaustion. Another bullish point is that Bitcoin front-ran a major weekly order block around 57,291. Instead of needing to tag the level exactly or right below, buyers stepped in early by just over $400, which is less than 1%. This is an order block where it's a swing low red candle followed by an engulfing green candle. So the open and close of this candle are the order block levels. And finally, the daily 12 EMA, this white line here, is just about to cross back above the daily 26 EMA, this red line here. That's usually one of the earliest signs that short-term momentum is shifting back to the bulls. So there are definitely reasons to believe the bottom is already in. But here's why I'm not fully convinced yet. Bitcoin is still below what I consider the most important dynamic resistance, the weekly 12 EMA, this white line here, along with the weekly 26 EMA cloud. These EMAs has acted as dynamic resistance during Bitcoin's downturn so far. As long as price remains below it, the higher time frame trend hasn't fully changed. Second, despite the daily 12 EMA about to cross above the daily 26 EMA, the EMA hasn't fully crossed above, and Bitcoin have been trading below the EMA cloud in the past few sessions. So despite the recent bounce, short-term structure hasn't fully flipped bullish. And zooming out, the market is still making lower highs and lower lows. That's the definition of a downtrend. From a cycle perspective, Bitcoin has not yet reached the projected Q4 October timing window for a potential macro bottom. Bitcoin has historically bottomed 1 year after the top that was made back in October 2025. However, this argument carries less weight as the expected timing has become widely anticipated and markets often invalidate consensus expectations. So structurally speaking, Bitcoin is still in a downtrend and statistically, another lower low is still a possibility. So what will make me more confident that the bottom is already in? It's very simple. I want to see Bitcoin reclaim this weekly order block around 63,235. And even better, I like to see the monthly candle close above this level, which Bitcoin failed to do with this monthly open just below its weekly order block level. However, Bitcoin is currently trading above. And finally, the next hurdle Bitcoin needs to cross is to trade above this bearish order block at 64,681, where if Bitcoin claims above and trade above this level on the weekly close, I'll be much more confident, and the probability that 57,700 was the real bottom increases significantly. My game plan and action steps. So here's how I'm approaching it. I actually think this is a good area to be dollar cost averaging. Bitcoin is already trading roughly 50% below its all-time high. Could it go lower? Of course, but the risk reward is becoming increasingly attractive. If we do lose 57,717, this low right here, I'm not panicking. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to accumulate at even better prices. Because in my opinion, the difference between buying at 58,000 versus 54,000 probably won't matter as much 5 years from now. So, what's my conclusion? I'd say the evidence is slightly bullish in the short term, but still cautious over the medium term. The next few weeks should tell us whether the July 1st was the bottom or just under the step before the final washout. If you enjoy this kind of probability-based analysis, like and subscribe because that's exactly what this channel is all about. Let me know in the comments if you like more data-driven analysis like this. Thanks for watching and trade safe, everyone. Peace.